Okay, today's topic is about Parkinson's disease, and this is going to be from a layperson perspective. Our guest here today is Mrs. Parvathy Vishwanathan. Welcome, Mrs. Parvathy. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, can you briefly talk about your background and professional background, and also your uh, basically relationship with a Parkinson's patient?
Okay. See, basically, I'm a science graduate. Uh, Later on, I did my special education and started working with children with special needs and children with special needs of all kinds, like Down syndrome, autism, attention deficit. And I was working for nearly 2.5 decades. And I have been teaching them, training them. I have been training the parents also. And my specialization is early intervention, early identification, and early intervention. Uh, well, I have trained many people, parents, teachers, and I have also authored books on autism and attention deficit. And yeah, that's it. And about Parkinson, yes, actually, I'm a parent of a Down syndrome adult. He is about 45 years old, uh, but with intensive training and all that, he became quite independent. And uh, till 2021, he was doing very well and uh, achieved a lot of things in sports, in physical activities, yoga, music, dance, keyboard, and many things. He was an achiever, and he was even awarded a national award from the by the President of India for being role model. But in 2021, he was diagnosed with early onset of Parkinson's, and since then, we have been concentrating more on Parkinson's disease and doing a lot of work on Parkinson's disease. And
Mhm.
yeah, right now I'm a caregiver, and I'm going to speak, from the perspective of caregiver.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. That's by the way, your background was quite impressive, and so we will get to that. And also, your sorry to hear about your son. We will get into those details. But my first question to you is, from a layperson perspective, what
Okay.
is Parkinson's disease? Can you give the audience, a small definition, and maybe get into the details of the problem itself?
Well, in simple terms, Parkinson's disease is a disorder of the central nervous system that affects the movement of the person, often
Mhm.
including tremors. It starts with tremors in the hand on one side, and here the nerve cell damage is in the brain that causes the
Mhm.
dopamine level to drop, leading to the symptoms of Parkinson's disease. Actually,
Mhm.
Parkinson's with tremor in one hand, other symptoms also are slow movement, stiffness, and loss of balance. This is
Mhm.
in short Parkinson's disease. Yeah.
I see. And these issues that you mentioned, they start off and then they progressively become worse. Is that it?
Yeah, generally it starts around the age of 60 or 70, at later stage. And generally people affected at that age, they can manage for 20 or 25 years. And because progression is not very fast, with correct kind of treatment and physical exercise and the lifestyle, they can manage for many years. But there are certain other conditions, like variations of Parkinson's, which can be very aggressive, and in those cases, yeah, progression is fast and rapid.
I see. Okay. Okay. Do you know what causes this condition to happen in the first place? What causes Parkinson's disease? Is this um, maybe lifestyle related or diet related? Are there any risk factors that we must be aware of that we should potentially avoid in order to stay away from this condition, this disease, basically?
The cause of Parkinson's can be, two or three things. Like it can be genetic, or environmental, or due to medication side effects. Okay, and when it comes to genetics, uh, some cases of Parkinson's are hereditary and can be
Hmm.
traced to specific genetic mutations. However, most cases are, um, like um, what do you call, random, and they don't run in families. Environmental factors means it is exposure to toxins such as pesticides or
Hmm.
herbicides and heavy metals, detergents, and solvents may be linked to Parkinson.
Wow,
So
wow,
that
wow.
is
Good to know.
yeah. And then
Okay.
medication side effects. Some medications such as antipsychotics and calcium channel blockers, these can also cause Parkinson's like symptoms that usually improve once the medication is stopped. So these are the three factors that contribute to Parkinson's.
I see. So the takeaway I'm hearing is apart from those environmental risks that I guess we all are exposed to in these modern times,
Yeah,
the second most common reason is, or maybe the first most common reason is it's
medication.
primarily genetic. Like
Mm,
somebody is yeah, genetically inclined to develop this problem.
yeah, yeah, but then
Mm,
it's
okay.
it's hard to predict. Like we don't know if it is genetic, and unless you come across this problem or anything, we are not going to go deeper into the genetic,
Mm.
genetic so, and or if you have someone in the family, then you can be, cautious about it, and we can predict and we can be more careful. Otherwise, it's difficult.
Right. Got it. Got it. So if somebody in the family has this problem, maybe it's a good idea to get yourself tested
Yeah.
to see if you're inclined, yeah, pre-inclined to get this problem. Okay. All right. So what is your advice on treatment options? Once somebody has this issue, somebody gets
Mhm.
Parkinson's disease, what are some of the treatment options? And let's also talk about any exercises that we can do to make the condition more manageable and better.
Mm, well, treatment involves three things: it's medication and healthy life like nutritious food, and of course, most important is exercise, physical activity. So with exercise, you can definitely control the symptoms and can lead a near normal life. And
Mm-hmm.
medication is also very important because there is less dopamine produced in the brain. We have to, the brain has to be compensated with medication. So that is also very important. So actual doctors are the right people to
Mm-hmm.
prescribe the medication. But otherwise, the patient and the family can, they have to focus on kind of food they are having, nutritious food, balanced food, and also exercise.
Mm-hmm.
Lifestyle is very important to to maintain at the same level, and there is no prevention for that. That's very important.
When you say exercise, what kind of exercises are we talking about? Any specific exercises or just general, aerobic exercise? Like, are you talking about what generally people do, like running,
Yeah,
walking,
see,
those kind of
yeah,
things?
see, yeah, because this is related to movement. It's a movement disorder. So definitely the lower limbs will be affected, and even the hands are affected. So basic stretches, exercises, um, to strengthen the muscles of legs and hands. That is important. Other than that, aerobics will also help, and then dance, the movement, uh,
Mhm.
that will also help. And also, cycling. Cycling is a very good exercise, and swimming is also very helpful. And apart from that, yeah, if people are interested, they can go for hiking. If they are, in the initial stages, they'll be very normal, so they'll be able to do all this. Simple hiking exercises, and then boxing. Such exercises will definitely help. Very simple.
Mhm. Okay, interesting. And then regarding diet, you mentioned having a balanced diet, but are there any vitamins or any kind of supplements that would help this condition?
Mm, well, not supplements, but the food that helps to increase the dopamine, like green vegetables, and then mm, protein rich curd will help. Milk in moderate
Hmm.
quantities. And,
Yeah.
basically Mediterranean food, and
Hmm.
that can be the breakfast and the lunch. All this can be modified, and if they have a very structured kind of food pattern, it will be very helpful. And having a lot of nuts,
Hmm.
uh, nuts like badam, apricot, dry fruits. That can be. Generally, my experience is if they take that mixture at night before sleep, they get very good sleep, and that prevents the symptoms at night. So that helps a lot. Yeah, food plays a very important role in controlling the symptoms of Parkinson's.
Got it. Got it. Okay. I think in the right at the beginning, you talked about some of the symptoms, tremors and all of that. Can you, go into a little depth? Like, what are some of the symptoms that Parkinson's patients will face, so that it's also easy for people to know what to look out for, and then when to, go to your doctor and talk about some of the symptoms that lead you to think that, hey, maybe I have to get myself checked out. So, what are some of the symptoms for Parkinson's?
Uh, there can be two kinds of symptoms. One is motor symptom, the other one is non-motor. So motor symptoms include it starts with tremors, resting tremors, and slowness of movement, and rapid
Mhm.
rigid muscles, stiffness, and
Mm.
trouble with movement. They find it difficult to walk fast, and then in a climbing stairs, climbing down, all that will be,
Mm.
they will start finding problem in that. And non-motor symptoms can be anxiety and loss of mental sharpness,
Mm.
uh,
Okay.
cognitive skill. Constipation, that is a very important factor. Generally, all Parkinson's patients, most of them will have constipation, impaired bladder control, and yeah, they will also have hallucinations and delusions. These are the non-motor symptoms. But generally, it starts with motor symptoms. So that is, people can find out when once their limbs are getting rigid and the movement is getting slowed,
Mm.
and tremors on here on the hands and rigidity. All these are the basic symptoms. And
Got
fatigue.
it.
Like when a person who is normal and have been leading normal life, suddenly if they feel very very tired and fatigued, then that could
Oh,
also
okay.
be one of the factors, one of the symptoms. Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Anything speech related? Like if they find you talked about mental clarity and anxiety, but what
Yeah.
if their speech is
But
impaired? Is that a
yeah,
symptom to look out for?
yeah. One of the symptoms is like their handwriting. Like the handwriting becomes smaller and smaller, and in course of time, it's very you cannot even read like what they are writing. Handwriting
Interesting.
is one factor. The other one is yeah, speech. The voice. The voice becomes very low. Volume becomes very low, and slowly they will start losing the speech. Earlier it will be low voice, and then uh, yeah, they cannot speak very fluently. Then the clarity will be lost. So it happens in course of time. But initially, uh, voice, the yeah volume of the voice, that is one of the indication. So
Interesting.
basically, movement will be affected, slowness will be there, stiffness will be there, and then their handwriting will be affected, and
Mm,
and the speech. So
okay.
these are
It's interesting that you, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, that's it.
Okay. No, I was going to say it's interesting you mentioned handwriting. These days in modern times, nobody really writes much, at least the adults. They're on the screens and they type or they tap on devices. But I think that's something to look out for. The other symptoms are quite useful, I guess, for the audience.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Now, let's talk about, as a caregiver to a Parkinson's patient, what are some of the challenges that caregivers typically face when working with these patients?
Mm, well, the caregivers, I mean, they are the people who are taking care, taking care of the patient, and they will have many responsibilities, including, educating themselves. Like, it's something new for them. Nobody knows about, and normally we don't talk about, we don't know about Parkinson. It's a rare condition, so we don't, unless you yourself come across such thing. You won't learn about it, or you won't know anything about it. So
Hmm.
educating themselves is a best, I mean, important challenge. Learning about the disease, the treatment, and the symptoms, and also managing various aspects. So that is a main challenge. And yeah, when it comes to managing, keeping track of appointments with the doctors, medication, exercises, so, that is also very important. And
Hmm.
yeah, we think providing emotional support to the patient, offering because they themselves will not be knowing like what's happening to them suddenly, why I'm so different, why am I losing my skills. That can be very confusing and very depressing. So offering love and support to help the family member to meet the challenges of the disease, that is also an important responsibility. And they have to be observant, like watching the changes in the symptoms, their abilities and moods, because they are the ones who are going to report to the doctor, and they are the ones who is going to manage the patient, right? So being observant about all these things is also a big challenge for them, and being flexible.
Hmm.
See, being very patient and flexible when their loved one has these symptoms, and they keep changing, and taking care of them, and mm, managing their moods, change of moods, all that, and also their sleep pattern, feeding. I mean, slowly, because they have to do everything for the patient. So they have to be very flexible. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult. And
Hmm.
and also very important factor is they have to take care of themselves also, because
Hmm.
addressing their own medical needs, and because ultimately they are the people who have to take care of the patient. So they have to take care of themselves about their medical needs, or eating well, exercising, sleeping, because sleeping is also going to be affected because of being with the patient constantly. So all these things are very important, and they have to take care of themselves. Only then they can take care of the patient. So that is also very important for a caregiver.
Absolutely. That's actually a good segue to my next question. I think that we don't give enough thought to the caregivers I mean, we talk about the patients, their problems, but what about the caregivers? They have normal lives to lead as well, and they are also undergoing a lot along with the patient. So my next question would be, what can the caregivers do in your opinion, to make their lives easier when dealing with such patients, and also to ensure that they bring a sense of calm to the patient and into their own lives actually. So what are some of the things that the caregivers need to be mindful of?
Yeah, first of all, the caregiver must be mentally prepared. And first of all, they have to educate themselves. Only then they'll be able to cope with the problem. So that's one thing. They have to be aware, and keep educating them, updating about all the latest developments about the Parkinson's disease. That's very important. And also, they have to keep themselves uh, fit. Like as I said,
Mm.
they have to sleep well, they have to eat well, they have to be healthy, and that's very important. And exercise and meditation, that really helps the caregiver a lot to manage to
Mm.
cope with the situation. So yeah, they have to take care of themselves, and they have to be healthy so that uh, they will be, because in course the disease is such that there is going to be progression, and the patient
Mm.
is going to deteriorate, and in all aspects. And so the person, the caregiver, needs both physical and mental strength. So it's very important for them to be healthy, and um, yeah, in good physical and mental condition to cope with the situation.
Right, 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 right. Do you think joining some support groups, meeting some like-minded, or basically people who are in a similar boat, similar situation, and
Yeah,
exchanging notes, I'm sure that would help as well. Do you agree?
yeah, definitely. Because support group is a big help, because you meet like-minded people, and also people with even Parkinson's disease is it's different for different people. The problem is different. It's not the same routine, typical same problems. So through the support group, they can discuss various topics, various aspects, and how their own experiences they will share. So that will definitely help. And also for your mental health, it's good. Like you're getting some moral support from the from your peers. So that will definitely help. And also you get to learn a lot of things through your peers from the support group. And through support groups, we can also, because support groups, we can organize webinars and lectures, all important things about the disease, which if you are able to attend and learn all these things, it will be really helpful. Yeah,
Mm.
definitely support group is very very helpful and important. If you have one, that's good. You can always join. Or if you don't have, then you can start your own support group and
Mm.
doing something along those lines.
Excellent, excellent. Great. Um, and yeah, I think this has been really good. Thank you so much. This information is like gold to a lot of people who are facing this, this this problem, and I think it'll be very useful for the audience as well. So thank you very much. Thanks for your time, and good luck with everything that's going on.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your interest in educating the community or the world at large. So uh, yeah, best wishes for your effort, and thank you so much for talking to me about it. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Bye.